Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. It is Thursday, October the 30th, 2025. U.S. stock market has been closed for almost an hour right now. So I'm a little bit closer to the time I normally like to do this, which is, around the time the market closed. I might be a tiny bit behind perfect timing, but that's why I do a recording now instead of doing this live, so I don't have to do it that way. Anyway, just in case you weren't watching when it happened, the all three indexes finished down, with the Nasdaq finishing down quite a bit. Meta and Microsoft, really pulled the Nasdaq down today, but the Dow was in positive territory for a really good portion of the day. It started out to the negative. This is going to be a wild-looking chart for one day for the Dow. Started off in the negative. Really reversed very quickly and went up, got up. I believe it was more than a couple hundred points to the upside. And then a very, this might look a little bit choppy, but that's actually quite a steady downward turn to the end of the day. It just sloughed off. And a lot of that is, Microsoft is a Dow stock. I don't know. Let me see exactly how far they finished down today. I was not watching them all day long. They're up a little bit after market, but down, 15. That's a $525 a share stock is a heavily weighted stock. I think, I might be wrong on this, but I think there are only one or two stocks in the Dow that are more heavily weighted. Goldman is up over $700 a share right now. And I think Home Depot and United Health might be up there. I think Microsoft is due for a stock split. Whether that's coming or not, I don't know. United Health trades at 345, so they're a little bit below that. I know Goldman Sachs trades 790, almost $800 a share. Home Depot trades 378, so they're a ways behind Microsoft. It might be only Goldman Sachs that trades higher than Microsoft on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So it's a heavy weighted stock. So 2.5%, 3% down, that can be a big drag on the Dow. Still only down 0.25%. That's not horrible. The S&P down a lot more than that, and then of course the Nasdaq even a little bit more than that. Very common. Whatever the Dow and the Nasdaq do, it's relatively common for the S&P to end up somewhere in between the two. That's kind of a pretty normal trend. So not a great day for the markets, but other than the Nasdaq, not a horrible, awful day. And I think it's going to rebound pretty big tomorrow. And I think it's going to rebound because Apple hit a home run basically, and they are up 4% after market. And that's not a guarantee that they go up 4% tomorrow, but I think it's good news. I think it's going to help the markets overall, and I think they will trade up. And then you've got Amazon also reported, and look at Amazon, up $26 a share after market. Amazon just absolute home run as well. So just on those two companies alone, plus when those big tech companies, Meta, Microsoft, when they have the kind of sell-off that they do, a lot of people are going to see that as a buy opportunity. I for one, am going to be looking very close at Meta in the next few days. I'm not, this was a big drop on Meta. They have technically crossed over on the 5 and 20-day moving average. I believe the MACD and the RSI, neither one of those are crossed over. So don't be shocked if Meta does not give you a full crossover on the MACD and the RSI. They could bounce. At the very least, they could have a dead cat bounce tomorrow. We didn't look over here on this page at what Meta might be doing after hours. Look, after hours, they're up. I think Meta and Microsoft, a lot of people are going to see these as buy opportunities, and I don't think these two stocks, I don't think either one of them are going to struggle to get back to above where they were pre-earnings before the end of the year. And you've really only got November, December. Tomorrow's last day of the month, last day of the trading for the month. I think you're going to see in 2 months' time Microsoft and Meta get back everything and then some that they gave up on this earnings news today. Doesn't mean it's going to turn around immediately tomorrow. When I say a lot of people are going to see this as a buying opportunity, you're going to have some people, myself included, that are probably not going to jump into anything tomorrow, but may look to the early to middle part of next week. If they have tomorrow and Monday that they're moving back up, I'll tell you honestly, I may jump into both of these companies with some option trades. I don't think I'm going to buy stock in either one right now. They're both pretty expensive. So that's kind of where we're at on that. NVIDIA, part of the NASDAQ sell-off, NVIDIA was off today, and I just opened a new trade. This was a Discord-only trade, but I just opened a new trade on NVIDIA. But they ended up only being down 2% today, and they're already coming back. I might buy to close my short calls tomorrow, because the brand new trade that I just opened on NVIDIA, and let me see if I can get this. I might come back to this because this is going to need to refresh a little bit. It says I'm down about 4%, but most importantly, it says that my short calls went from 990 down to 580. Now, this might not be up to date, and I'll let this refresh while I'm talking about it a little bit. We'll come back and look. But NVIDIA, nothing has changed on NVIDIA vis-a-vis the overall long-term trend of NVIDIA. They had an off day. Look, they touched an all-time high yesterday, gave up a little bit of that, sold off a little bit today. They're not even close to turning into a bearish trend. I think NVIDIA could have another off day and maybe come back and test a support level right around there, and then bounce and continue up. I think NVIDIA is a hot stock, a hot commodity. I think they're what you've got to have some type of trade on it. And we'll see if tomorrow they can get a nice little bounce. And right at the open tomorrow, I might honestly buy to close those short calls. I'll be on Discord and I'll let everybody know if I decide to do that. I won't do that without giving you a heads up. But I might do that with NVIDIA tomorrow. Our SPY trade, of course, took a little bit of a hit today. But it's actually still in positive territory because you got these much nearer term short calls that gave up some today, while the long calls didn't give up a lot. So we're looking overall, we're just looking absolutely fantastic in this SOS spread trade portfolio. Now, triple play, I closed Boeing today. I promise over the weekend I will get this up to date. I've got a bunch of trades I've got to put on here. I'll get Boeing in here. I made full maximum profit on Boeing. Targeted 242 and got out at 248 today. I was very briefly in a trade on Coin, actually closed it for some profit, re-entered it. I put all this on Discord today. And more importantly, I got back into Coin now. And I did fill on the trade I tried to get into on MicroStrategy. So let me show you a couple things. If you followed any of that on the triple play side of things, let me show you a couple things for tomorrow. Coin. Way up tomorrow. They've got to go a little higher than this, and I think they will. If this holds and they do well tomorrow with what I believe is going to be a good move on the overall market tomorrow, if they do well, we're going to be fine on Coin. They would have to go up to. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm talking. I got to reverse what I'm about to say. Coin is going to be a tricky one. MicroStrategies is doing fine. So Coin, I'm in at. Let me go back and let me. I'm pulling this up on another page. I want to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. So Coin would have to go up to 345, and that's got to go a lot higher than this. It would literally they would have to gain $18 a share tomorrow instead of $8. That's a big ask. It's not undoable, but it's a big ask. We'll see what they do in the first part of trading in the morning, like right when things open up. We'll see where they're going. It's a big ask. I don't know if they'll pull that off. They would have to go down to 325, and again, from where they're trading after market, that could be tricky. So watch Discord in the morning if you got into that trade. Now, on the flip side, MicroStrategy. They reported, and they're up $5.43 after market, and they would only have to go up. I take that back. We want that they went down far enough. After I got into the trade, after I got into the trade, they went down far enough before the close. They had a massive, I mean, I got into the trade somewhere around here, and then they had a very steady sell off to the downside. Ended up that the put side of my trade was 100% in the money, but I wasn't able to exit the trade right at the closing part of the market. So while on the good side of things, I've got MicroStrategy's trading. On the good side of things, they're trading below where I tried to get in. They would have to go up again a lot more than this tomorrow. So if you followed me on either of these trades, be watching Discord in the morning, because I will, without question, be either adjusting, or we're either going to see big enough moves to be absolutely fine, or we're going to be adjusting both of these trades in the morning. So watch these ones closely. But the good news is Boeing, we got out of fine. Now, I said for a couple of days I was going to talk about collar trades. And I've got to get this updating. Sorry, I didn't have this done before I started here. But I sent out 3 adjustments to collar trades yesterday. We adjusted NVIDIA, Palantir, and SoFi. My plan is, the reason I did not adjust Bank of America, I am going to liquidate 100% Bank of America at the open tomorrow. It doesn't matter if they're up or down. I'm going to close everything I have open on Bank of America. That's going to be completely liquidated. Going to have some nice profit in it. I think there are some other companies that I would rather have that money involved in right now. It's nothing real negative about Bank of America. They've had a nice steady run up. The problem with Bank of America is when they've had pullbacks, they haven't been big. This is great if you're just a buy and hold trader. This is not a great pattern over the last 6 months if you want to capitalize on collar trading. Honestly, we want a little more volatility than that. I am going to shift some money from Bank of America into this company. I've been watching them for a while. Automated data. Wait. I'm telling you the wrong company. I knew I was putting in that ticker symbol wrong. Give me 1 second here. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something different. APLD. Sorry. I was looking at ADP earlier. APLD. Okay. Applied Digital Corp. This company, I've been studying them for a little while. Don't know why I blanked on that for a minute as I was doing this. I'm going to basically take the money from ADP, or I'm going to take the money from Bank of America. And just the other day, for the first time in over 20 years, I liquidated everything I had in Ford. I'm completely out of Ford, and I would recommend honestly that you do the same thing. If you're following the SOS trades, I can't really specifically recommend that you buy or sell anything. I'm just telling you based on what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm completely out of Ford. I'm going to take every penny I had in Ford, and I'm going to take everything I had in Bank of America, and I am going to get into Applied Digital Corp. These guys are very, very big into data centers, and I'll send out some information on that. I'll give you the strike prices, the expiration dates of the where I'm going to put short calls, where I'm going to put long puts. These guys don't report. They do not report until January 8th. And I think that I'm struggling with that because I think that's off a little bit. I think their report actually, no, it's saying 112. I think they should have a reporter in that. Anyway, I like this company. I think they're going to double, triple in price over the next year, but I think they are going to be rocky in the process of doing it. I think you're going to see some ups and downs, and so I'm going to get into them. There are some other companies I'm looking at as well. I may add one additional, maybe two additional collar trades to that. But this is one that I want to be in long term going forward. I think this company has a huge upside, and their multiple is great right now, and there's just a lot of things I like about it. So the companies that I did adjustments to were NVIDIA, Palantir, and SoFi. Snap does not need an adjustment. Our options don't expire on Snap until 11/21. Our long puts, they're already in the money a little bit. We've got room to grow with our short calls. I'm leaving Snap the way it is. Same thing with Uber. Uber reports well ahead of the 21st. I like where we're positioned on this right now. Don't need to adjust it. Don't need to adjust CoreWeave. It's the only one we're down on right now, but I'm confident CoreWeave is going to come back. And again, we're positioned in a good spot on CoreWeave. We adjusted Palantir, have that one cinched up right at the money now. We adjusted NVIDIA, have that one just perfect for earnings. And we adjusted SoFi and have that one set up very nicely for earnings. So we are set on collar trades when we, if you liquidate Bank of America, liquidate Ford. This is if you want to follow me. I mean, you do what you want to do. This is what I'm doing. I'm liquidating Bank of America at the open tomorrow. I'm out of Ford, and I'm putting all of that money, like all of it, I'm putting into APLD, Applied Digital Corp, and then I'll see what other collar trade I want to get into. This is a very affordable stock right now. I personally am gonna get quite a few shares. I don't know if I'm allowed to divulge exactly how many, but I'm gonna get quite a few shares. If you want to follow me on this one, it'll all be sent out probably tomorrow in the morning, so that you have the entire day to look at getting into this if you want to. All right, I'm going to wrap up right there. Have a great rest of your Thursday. My podcast tomorrow is probably going to be mid-morning, 9-10 o'clock my time, to wrap up the week. I'll get that post online as soon as I get it done. I'll get this one done right away. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.